All right, we are live. Live, 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 live,
What
live,
is
live, live,
up?
live.
What's up? What's up, YouTube? How we
Live on a
doing?
Thursday night.
We did it. We did it.
We did it.
Twice in 1 week. We did it. We are
It's
so cool.
impressive. It's
Look at our
impressive.
commitment. Look at our commitment.
Our commitment to you, actually to each other, to the
To the
pod,
people.
to
All the
life,
above, dude. All the
to
above.
sports.
Just,
Man. Yeah.
there's so much to talk about. It's like, how could we not
There's
do it?
always so much to talk about,
So much to talk about. So much to talk about.
It is
Boom.
crazy how into sports we are. Sometimes I think about it. Like I take a step back and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. So like I've had to differentiate like when I get upset now. Like if the other night when the Dodgers lost, I had to differentiate that from like this is my sports heart pissed off. Like I can't let this ruin my life my next day.
It's really hard, though. Like, it's
It's really
really
hard, but
hard.
I've gotten better at it, but
Yeah.
it is really hard. In the playoffs, it's really hard. In the regular season, like okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But I literally let it used to ruin so much of my day, and I was like, this is bad. This is an issue.
She's like, the whole day is just shot. This is
Yeah,
just terrible. I don't even know what to do. It's like, you know what, dude? It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be
it's
okay
gonna be
because at the
okay.
end
It
of the
has
day,
no effect on our actual
you know
lives
what it is?
except the stress that we put on it.
It's like it's sort of the realization that like no matter what happens, like if the Dodgers win or Dodgers lose, I gotta go to work tomorrow. It's like the
Yeah,
same thing with like politics, people. All right, like we don't talk politics on the show, but you know what? Tomorrow, you gotta wake up, you gotta get in the car, you gotta go to work. All right,
right,
it's gonna be okay. If I could deliver any message to the American people tonight, it's gonna be okay because tomorrow you're
right,
gonna have more than likely you're gonna have the same day you had today. So just embrace it, man. Just go with the flow. It is what it is.
right. Exactly. You gotta live your life. Got to make your own decisions. You know, no matter what happens in a month from now, you gotta make your own
Right?
decisions.
You gotta do what
Still,
you gotta do,
every
man.
single day.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Boom.
That's from Big Z and Fredo.
Fact.
Yeah.
Fact.
Oh,
So much fact. We're happy to be with you, though.
we are. We are.
Oh,
We got a little TED talk from us. It's
there it
nice.
is, dude. Just
There it
just go
is.
with it, man. There's so many people. Oh no, this is gonna ruin democracy. Probably not. Probably whoever wins, democracy is gonna go on. Probably,
Most likely. Most likely.
probably whoever wins. I'll tell you what. Whoever wins, it's not gonna change much for us in California. We're gonna be taxed heavily. We're gonna be loving our weather. We pay the
Paying a
price,
lot
Big
for
Z.
gas
Pay a lot for gas, but we get to live by the beach.
and
So
groceries and all that fun stuff. You know, it's
give and
great.
take, baby. Give and take. You
It is a
know?
give and take. You can't have it best of both worlds, you know?
You
Like you
can't.
just you gotta yeah, you gotta decide what's more important to you, you know? Complaining about things or just finding the things that you can save some money on, but like enjoying that stuff with your family, you know? That's
Just do
better.
it.
Putting that effort into your family, into your friends,
Live
into the
it.
podcast
Do it.
instead of just like, my life, No, 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 stop it. Stop it.
Do it. Do
There it
it.
is. There it is, guys.
Just do
You're
it. Just live
welcome.
it.
Just
Live
live it.
it.
Just live life.
Just live life. Live life. Live
Live
life.
life to its fullest. Live life to its FULLEST.
That's right. You guys are getting it all tonight. What's up?
That's right.
It's hilarious. Oh boy. All right. Let's do it. Let's get
You
this
ready to hop on?
podcast
You hop on that
rolling.
podcast train?
Let's do it.
All right,
Let's
bro.
do it.
Let's do this stuff.
Let's do this thing. Here we go. What is up, everybody? It is your boy Fredo. We are coming at you. That's right. This is the second time this week. We told you and we deliver. We
Told you
deliver on
guys.
our promises,
Yeah.
Big Z. We're here.
As always, we deliver on our promises. We're here for you guys again. It's great. It's Thursday, Friday Junior. Cannot be happier. How are you, man? How was your day? How's your night tonight?
Well, especially, it was going well. Had to pay the piper. Had to go to Uncle Sam, you know, deal with some taxes stuff. I'm way late, people. Way late to the game. Put some extensions in there. We got it done
Gotta do what you
though.
gotta do, bro. It's all
Shout outs to
good.
the boy Jeff. Help me out. Accountant extraordinaire. It's my
Jeff,
boy right there.
good job.
Yeah, so that wasn't exciting at all. But yeah, it's been a good week. Had some baseball, had some more baseball. I think we met on Monday night. So I already had one game, got another game tomorrow. It's going to be a good time. We're going to be watching that Dodger game from the dugout. So
Woo! Oh
yeah,
my gosh, game five in
yeah,
the dugout. Oh my
in the
god.
dugout while I'm cheering on the boys. It makes it easier to be a nice coach though, because you're just like whatever. Like it's not like this is the NLDS. Like win or go home.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good, boys. Have fun. What about you, Big Z? How you doing? How you been? How you been living these last couple of days?
Oh, I'm good. I've been great, man. Dodger game, it was a roller coaster. Tuesday night, we were both upset. Wednesday night, we were both great. And tonight, the Niners won. So my sports life, I've been good. Work, been busy, but work is when you're busy, you're good in sales.
Job security,
So
baby.
it's been good. This weekend, me and my wife, Haley, we're going out of town. It's our anniversary. So we're gonna go leave the boy with the grandparents, and we're gonna go and just hang out, and it's gonna be nice, man. Looking forward to it. It's
Yeah.
been we've had the trip planned for a few months now,
Ooh.
so it'll be good to get away, and
Ooh. It's
yeah, man, it's gonna be good.
gonna be great. It's
Yeah,
gonna be great. Come
we're
on
gonna do a
now.
half day tomorrow, bro. I'll
Ooh,
leave a little
boy.
early and take off. I'm
Woo.
excited. I'm
Yes,
excited.
sir.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Big Z doing it. He's doing it.
Yeah, dude, I'm doing life. I'm doing life to its fullest. You got to do
Yeah.
it.
You
You
gotta do
have
it.
to do it. We're trying to find a place though to watch the game tomorrow night. So we're doing some research. Actually, she's probably doing some research right now, and I'll do some after.
Where are you
But
going again?
up the coast, like San Luis Obispo County, up there. So
Just
there's
look up a
like
brewery.
there's
Find a brewery.
restaurants, bars. But I just
Yeah.
gotta find like the right plot spot.
The problem is up there too. There's a bunch of haters, so they may not even show the Dodger game. We'll see.
They don't show the Dodger game.
You gotta
Remember, I
tell them.
grew up there, and I
Yeah,
was a
that's
Dodger
right.
fan.
See,
Yeah, exactly.
you did it. You
See,
did it.
like the weird, like you're in the middle. And so you had to choose Dodgers, Giants, but it was right in the middle. So I chose Dodgers.
Or you could have just been the Caitlin and just gone Padres, just gone like way south.
Yeah, I don't understand. She did that because she moved to San Diego for college, but I guess I didn't rub off enough on her growing up as a Dodger fan.
Dude, it's infectious. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like seeing the Padres, seeing what they're doing, seeing their stadium like light up during a playoff series, like dude, it's undeniable. I'm obviously not a Padres fan, but I mean, it's undeniable, man. I mean, that stadium is rocking. It's electric. Like if I'm down there living, like who knows? You know what I mean? I mean, obviously not
Right.
for me because I'm a Dodger fan, but like
It's a
if she
big
didn't
party.
have
Big
right, but
party.
exactly, but if she didn't have like a loyalty or an allegiance off the bat, like I could totally see her just like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna, this team is fun. It's a good
Right.
time. We got weird nicknames for our players.
And she got in there like right when Eric Hosmer was signed and Tatis was just coming up and then Machado was signed. So like the buildup, like where they actually started
Mm.
getting decent at baseball because it was such a long layoff without any playoff
By the
appearance
way,
or anything.
that will never not be funny to me. That Padre fans called him Homer Hosmer, and he
Homer
led the
Hosmer.
league in ground balls,
I
ground
know,
ball
bro.
hits.
I was on my YouTube feed last night and he has a podcast.
Really?
Yeah, and so he was talking a lot about the series, bashing Dave Roberts for, like getting mad that Machado threw the ball and well, but like also giving credit to Dodger players about, like being good, like Freddie Freeman, like how much of a dog he is for going out on one ankle. Um, but yeah, he's actually pretty good. You should check it out.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I heard Dave Roberts, like, man, Machado threw a ball. I was kind of expecting maybe like a little bit more than the video that I saw. I mean, it doesn't excuse it. Like, it's not great. And I love Jack Flaherty, dealing with it in the moment. But I think also like it's not like Dave Roberts went out of his way to ask MLB to look into it. Like
They,
they asked him about it, right? And that
yeah.
was it.
No,
Like,
no, I thought they sent it to MLB to look into it.
oh, did they? Okay, then
Yeah, and then MLB was like, no.
oh, come on. I mean, but
So like it made it look even
but
more
that's what this
soft.
series is. Like both teams trying to get into each other's heads. I mean, Fernando Tatis Jr. looked like he wanted to cry last night. He went from
Right.
like wagging his tongue like to like literal just tears. So
You know what's
tomorrow's
so
gonna
good
be
about that
fun.
game is that the Dodgers did not give up a run. Like they didn't like those games like if even if you win 8-4, but like you give
Yeah.
up the last four runs in like the
Yep.
2 innings, you're giving them momentum again, even though they lost. I was so glad that they shut them out. And there's a few times I was like, I feel like the Padres are gonna get some runs on the board, which of course we're gonna win
Yeah.
tonight, but
Yeah.
that can really help. That stuff, goes over into the other game potentially. So it was so cool that we actually shut them out, at home in San Diego. And so yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy. I
I mean,
hope Dodger fans don't come into tomorrow with that nervous energy that they usually do in the playoffs. I just hope that it's just rocking.
yeah, no, if you're going to the game tomorrow night, you got to go rocking. You got to go ready to go.
Yes.
You got to go hyped up, ready to go. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm a lot more confident about tomorrow than I was last night with the Dodgers Padres because 2 years ago we didn't have that fight, right?
Right.
The
No,
Dodgers got
totally
down and they
not.
didn't have
Yeah.
that fight, but this year they do. This year
Yep.
they had the fight. They got that dog in them. But we'll get into that a little bit, Big Z. We'll get
We'll
into
see. We'll see. I
baseball.
know. I
We're gonna
know.
wrap it up.
Sorry.
We're gonna wrap up with
We're a
baseball.
little
No,
we're a little excited.
listen, we're Dodgers fans, okay, through and through. We already told you we don't appreciate anything thrown on the field. So if you're a Dodgers fan going tomorrow, do not throw anything on the field.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't do it.
Making
Don't
us
be
look
that
bad,
guy.
guys. You're
Come on,
making us look
son.
bad.
So we already covered that, but we're also fans of the sport. We're also fans of the game. Personally, I have watched every series. I've not watched every game of every series, but
Right.
I've been in tuned with every series. So we're going to be just as fired up for the other series. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. Jumping right in, there was a game that just wrapped up, another pick'em that I absolutely got wrong. I thought the Seahawks would at least keep it close. Like I saw this thing being a lot closer than it was. And obviously I got to take my shots because I've had a really bad pick'em season.
You
So
really have, bro.
there's a couple
You're
times
down there, bro.
I am bad. And the worst part was I went camping and I thought for sure I could make my pick'em on Saturday night. And so I left like 5 games blank, and that did not help me because then I had no service, which
but
was
but we
like,
choose we did the spread pick 'em though. That one's really hard. Like it's not just straight up. Like we chose to do the actual one with the spread. So like even if like you picked the right team to win, but they didn't win by the
the
spread, you're
spread.
not going to win.
It
And so a
showed
lot of
me that
people
I
don't do
should
that
not
one.
gamble. It showed me that I'll never be Keanu
Right?
Reeves in
Yeah, we're
hardball
not.
because
Yeah,
I
we're
would
not.
never do
Right.
that. Like,
Well, we did put $20 in the pool just for the season. So,
yeah, that's
but
fun. That's fun.
it's fun. It's not like
We're talking about $20. We're not talking about Keanu Reeves like some dude's gonna come break
exactly.
his
Yeah.
thumbs. You know what I
Because
mean?
I say, oh, we're not gambling. It's like, no, actually, well, technically we are, but it's
Love
just
it
twenty
when you
bucks.
call me
So
Big Pop. Put your hands in the air if you's a true. That's such a great movie. Movies all time, people, all
all
time.
time.
Anyways, Brock Purdy just keeps balling, keeps doing what he needs to do to win. He had a couple ugly throws, but didn't let that slow him down. Again, this is the guy that everybody kept talking about as he needs Ayuk, he needs McCaffrey, he needs all these weapons.
Right.
Debo clearly not at 100%. Ayuk was part of the game, but the Seahawks really made it seemed like they really made a focal point to take him out of the
Two
game.
catches. Nothing
Right.
really.
So
Yeah.
Jennings, another part, and then obviously leaning on his boy, Old Faithful, George Kittle.
Yeah.
But in this game, he loses his running back, right? The backup
Right.
to McCaffrey goes down, and yet they still find a way to get a W. So,
Right.
I mean, look, at some point, you got to give him his flowers. This dude is a legit starting quarterback in the NFL. Whether you like it or not, he's one of the elite quarterbacks. You're not just going to roll over this guy. They definitely, Big Z, you're a Niner fan.
Yeah.
One thing that they were talking about on the broadcast that I did want to ask you about, how do you feel about it? They were talking about the ability for the Niners to score because last week they got in trouble against the Cardinals.
In the red zone.
Like in the red zone.
Yeah.
Right. Is that like just attributed to the because on some level you do need like if you don't have any weapons, it is going to be more difficult to score. You know what I'm saying? So where are you putting that? Is it just they got to right the ship a little bit?
Yeah, it has been a big frustration. Like, so me and my buddy Sam, we text every game. Like, we talk on the phone a lot about the games, and that's been besides the defense and the special teams. That's like third on like the frustration list. And I honestly think Kyle Shanahan is calling a lot different plays this year in the red zone. And I think you can attribute that to CMC not being there, whether that's having CMC run it or dumping the ball out to CMC or putting CMC out into the passing game. I think that he's calling a lot more runs. I'd say it's 75% runs, 25% pass. And so when Purdy does pass it in the red zone, it seems to be, we seem to score touchdowns a lot
Right.
more.
Right.
But he's just not getting that play call. I don't know if he just doesn't trust him in the red zone there for some odd reason. He doesn't turn the ball over too much. So I think you can attribute that. Also, Jordan Mason, before he got hurt, he was running really well, but they haven't used him in the passing game either. And so I think, it's a combination of that. He's just been kind of there to pass block or to hand the ball off to. And so I think if you put your running backs into the passing game in the red zone, it creates another person for the defense to cover,
Right.
because it's such a compact area anyways. Like, you're going to have to create space. So having taken a defensive guy out to cover that running back or fullback, whoever that is, I think that's going to open up the field a lot more, whether you are running it or whether you are passing it. So I think that Shanahan does need to change his play calling in the red zone, but it is a huge frustration for us this season. But Brock did, on 2 of our 3 possessions in the red zone in the second half, he did score touchdowns to Kittle. He made 2 great passes, threaded the needle. 3 guys covered Kittle both times, and he was able to get it through 3 guys each time. So, again, when Brock is given control in the red zone, when he's able to pass, that's the play call. They
I
are more often than
honestly,
not successful.
and for you and your buddy Sam, I think you're like this. I honestly felt like they solved it tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I think
Yeah.
if you leave this game as a Niner fan, you're thinking Shanahan is smart enough to see it until CMC gets back, because I'm not here for the, oh yeah, you guys are gonna say Purdy's good, and anybody who lost CMC is gonna feel it. Okay, you don't lose a CMC and not feel that. That's called being a football team. But I think tonight you saw it. Get the ball to George Kittle. All right, George Kittle. Tight ends, they dominate the red zone for a lot of teams.
Yeah, utilize your big guy. Yeah.
Utilize your big boy. Get a 5 wide out, get him one-on-one, do what you got to do to get to let him box out, right? Let him do the old NBA play. Because that's what it looked like, right? That second touchdown especially, it literally looked like he just parked his body in front of his defender, was like, dude, 100%. I'm so much bigger than you. Like, you're not going to get the ball from me. But I mean, Brock Purdy, anyway, he's like 255, 3 tutties, 0 interceptions, 129 QBR, rush for 19. I mean, it seemed, they were getting pressure. The Seahawks were getting pressure. Shout out to them. I mean, he just played a complete game.
He eludes sacks all the time. It's insane, like how much they can't sack him. Like every single game, there's 4 guys freaking just clamping down on him, and he's able to get out of it. Sometimes it's a little too much, but it's huge. Like, huge. Again, like, I was listening to Colin Cowherd. This season he actually progressed towards saying, you know what, Brock may not be a top 3 quarterback, but he's a legit starter. Right. Then today he reverted back, like, oh, Brock Purdy's regressing back to the mean. Like this, like, he's okay. He's not anything good. There's a reason why he was the last pick in the draft. Like, you can't, why? Because he lost a game? Like, because he lost 2 games? So I want to see what he says tonight after a 3 touchdown performance in Seattle, which is not an easy place to play. And while his counterpart and Geno Smith really, really struggled, and he is super high on Geno Smith. So I want to see.
Geno looked awful. There was no question
he looked
tonight watching these 2 quarterbacks. And in this game, I'm not going to say overall, but in this game, to me, tonight, Geno Smith had far more weapons than Brock Purdy, and he looked awful.
Yeah. Right.
So the best receiver on this field is probably close between Ayuk and Metcalf at this point. Because I think Ayuk at his apex is a little bit younger, maybe a little bit quicker. But with what Metcalf has done this season, I have him over Ayuk at this point. 100%. Right? And then
Ayuk hasn't shown up.
Yep. So secondary weapon, I mean, Lockett or JSN is probably Jennings, and they have 2 of them. Right? Probably the one area that you could confidently say the Niners, they got this one position, tight end. Right? Like, Kittle is the best tight end on the field. But running backs wise, Kenneth Walker, right? Yeah. Guy's a dog. So again, I'm not here for the excuses. All right. Brock Purdy outplayed this guy, no doubt. And I love Geno Smith. This is not a hater take. I started Geno Smith in one of my fantasy leagues. He's been doing great. And honestly, even though he didn't have his best night, still got me 18 points. Right? Quarterback, you're just looking, get close to 20. Right? Get me close to 20. Give me some points. I'm fine with it. I love it. Big Z, you guys solved some things. We got some big matchups coming for y'all this weekend, dude. Commanders, Ravens. This feels like one of those games because I don't think anybody wants to buy in on the Manders yet, right? Like, everybody's looking, they're seeing like Daniels is really good. They got some really good things going. who have they played? Oh, like, are they really? I think the a Ravens team that just mopped up the Bills, just got done mopping them up. I think this is a game where the Commanders can prove themselves and say, like, no, 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 we're legit. Like, we are a
Yeah.
legit team. We are here to win. We're a playoff contender.
I 100% agree. I think it's going to be a little tough in Baltimore, but this is definitely what they call, a statement game, right? And so Jaden Daniels going into a ruckus environment, something he is used to. We
Ruckus.
talked about this last week. He's played in the SEC. He's played in
Yeah.
Alabama, in Georgia, in LSU, his home stadium. He's built for these moments.
Yeah.
And I think that he does have, yeah, just the composure to control his team down the field and just take control and to do what he needs to do. He doesn't play outside of himself. He knows what exactly his role is in the offense, and he's going to execute. So as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, I think they're going to be fine. I think it's going to be a close game. And on the flip side, this is Lamar Jackson. Like, you had to prove it. Like, a really tough start to the season. He's turned it around. He's been able to
Yeah.
prove a lot of people wrong. He's been able to pass a lot, all that stuff. He's keeping care of the ball, and so do keep going back to what is making you successful, right? Utilize King Henry behind you, whether it's passing the ball to him, handing the ball off to him, whatever it is. Keep doing what's going to make you successful, and so that's just I think two big storylines. We're going to see what's going to happen, but the Commanders, if they win this game, I think everyone needs to really take them seriously. I think that you and I are closer to taking them seriously than most. But if they win this game, everyone has to at least have them in their top five, in my opinion, because going into Baltimore is a really, really tough thing to do in winning.
Yeah, 100%. Lamar Jackson is in peak form. I mean, I'm like the Bengals defense is bad. I'm not going to sit here and say that he did exactly what he should have done
Right.
against the Bengals, but next level, right? 348 yards passing,
Yeah.
4 tutties, rush for 55. Like he looks fantastic. So he's doing
Yep.
everything you want him to do. Very similar to MVP form last year. And obviously he's got new toy Henry. So this is a big game for the Manders. One that I'm excited for, Big Z, I'm not going to lie to you, Lions Cowboys.
Yeah.
This just feels like, I think coming into this season, you sort of had this idea from both these fan bases that their team was the team and their division was the division. Now you have a 3-2 Cowboys team looking up at the Manders, who are 4-1, and you got a Detroit Lions team at 3-1 looking up at the unbeaten Minnesota Vikings, who look extremely real, who've
Yep.
just shown you that they don't really need Sam Darnold to be all that good to get the W. They can beat you in a multitude of ways.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden now, these two teams, I'm not going to say it's a must win, but what I will say is if the Manders go in and win, if the Vikings continue to win, right, and you keep falling behind, that's not great, right? Because both these teams want to compete for their division, right? These are
Yep.
not
Oh
two
yeah.
teams that are just content to just make the playoffs. Both of these guys are in their minds going to fight for the division. This is a huge game, Big Z.
It truly is. It's a rematch of that game last year. Remember during Christmas time, and
Yeah.
the guy reported eligible, but the wrong guy did it. The refs botched it,
And
and
no
the
matter what,
Lions
Dan
got robbed. The
Campbell,
Lions got robbed of a game, of a
they
win.
got robbed, but also Dan Campbell at some point stopped going for two. At some point, just kick the field
But
goal.
they got robbed. They did
They
get
did.
robbed.
They
Like
did get
they
robbed.
truly did. I mean, that playoff crew, or that ref crew, wasn't able to ref in the playoffs because of that, or officiate in the playoffs. So I mean, yeah. But yeah, I
Yep.
agree with you. It's a pretty momentous game for both teams. I honestly think the Lions go in here, and I think they take it by over a touchdown. I just, the Cowboys, like we talked about last week, they struggled against the Steelers last week.
Yeah.
And the Steelers have one of the worst offenses in the league. The Lions have, I think, the most weapons out of any team in the league. Like, you look
Well,
at it,
without question. Yeah. With Jameson
yeah,
Williams coming on the scene. Yeah. There's not, I
Jameson
don't,
Williams, Ross St. Brown, Jameer Gibbs, Montgomery, Laporta, Jared Goff, like they have the guys. And also, Jared Goff is playing in a dome again in AT&T Stadium. It may not be at home, but still indoors. I don't see how the Cowboys can stop this Lions offense, especially with, I believe their two top pass rushers are still out on injury,
yeah.
and so I think the Lions are gonna have, or the Cowboys are gonna have a really tough time slowing down this Lions offense for sure.
I agree with you 100%. Another team that's being tested, Giants Bengals. You got to circle this one up only because you really feel like the Giants at the start of the season, watching them play, you thought, here we go. This is going to be a bottom barrel team. Dallas is 3-2. The NFC is really not looking all that impressive, right? You look at the NFC West. I think there are good teams there, but the best team right now is your Niners at 3-3. The best team in the NFC South is the Atlanta Falcons at 3-2. Outside of teams like the Vikings and the Manders at 5-0 and 4-1, I mean, the next best teams are 3-2. So all of a sudden, a 2-3 Giants team is sort of they're in the hunt. They
Yeah, they
are
are.
clearly in the hunt. And what's more is they just got done doing what your Niners team did, which is going into a very difficult place to win in Seattle and getting the W, which is substantially more surprising than the Niners doing the same thing. And they did it without their best weapon, Neighbors. Right? They're finding ways to win. They got a great new little running back in Tracy. Gray looks like no slouch. They got some good things going on. So they're playing a Bengals team. I mean, that is, let's be honest, the Bengals at this point already, they're already playing for their season. I mean, they're 1-4. You got to think if you go 1-5, you're in serious trouble. I mean, the season is pretty much gone for you. You almost have to be perfect.
You trade T. Higgins at that point, especially if you
Yeah,
lose
right.
I mean, again, if you lose the Giants, I mean, the Giants, again, like, let's give them their credit. Let's give Danny Dimes some credit. He's not turning the ball over. He had a really rough first couple games, but he has 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the season. He's doing what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Like, he's the definition of, I think you could agree with me, a system quarterback, but he's playing within the system, playing within himself. Tom Dable is a great head coach, a great offensive mind, and he's doing what he needs to do. So credit to him. But if the Bengals lose, it's panic mode. Like, you need to get something for T. Higgins at that point, because he's not going to resign with you. You just franchise tag him, right? So, like, you got to get rid of him. You got to figure out a way to invest in your defense for next year. Like, you got to start, sort of stopping this season, stop playing for this season, and start planning for next year already.
Right.
If they lose this game, and it's going to be tough. It's in New York.
Right.
Like, they're no slouch. New York is pumped up right now. I know it's the game's in New Jersey, but the Mets, the Yankees are in the LCSs in both leagues. Like, these fans are right now, they're winning. Their teams are winning, so they're going to come in to MetLife Stadium pumped up for the Giants team. And so momentum is a real thing, especially in football. And the Giants are definitely riding that momentous wave. And so I'd watch out on the Bengals. I don't go in here. I would not go in there with just their heads held high. I think that they're the best team, because they're not.
I mean, and also you really got to think. Look, at the end of the day, if you lose this game, man, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You have to go trade. I agree with you 100%. I thought that was a great point. You got to go get something. You can't walk away empty-handed.
Right.
Like, don't be that team. And by the way, real quick, when we say system quarterback, we don't see this as a bad thing.
No.
Every great quarterback was great at operating a system, whether it was Tom Brady creating his own system or whoever it was. When Big Z says, I just want to be clear, because, a lot of people will hear us like, oh, how can you say that? And, oh, you don't think Brock Purdy? No, we think Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. We just think he's really good at running that system. That's what a good quarterback does. They run the system. And for the Giants right now, the system is pretty clear. Hit the open receiver or take off for 5 or 8 yards.
Right.
And we're going to be okay. And he's doing it very, very well. Bills, team that looked like they were going to be hot, man. It looked like that was going to be candidly their division. They looked like an unstoppable force. They're playing the Jets, who just fired their head coach. This is the 1 and 2 seed in the AFC East. This is a big game. The Jets are obviously looking for some sort of identity.
Yep.
Is it Rodgers? Is it Garrett Wilson? Salah's gone, even though he's a defensive coach and they have one of the best defenses in the league. Again, me and you both think he's more of a defensive coordinator. Having said that, he was really good for your defense. So what does this look like moving forward, right? And this is a huge game for them, Big C.
Yeah, well, they demoted Nathaniel Hackett too from OC,
which is good.
Which is good. I think that is going to open up that offense. And typically, when you have coaches fired, the team usually rallies around the interim coach. And in this case, it's Jeff Ulbrich, who was a former Niner linebacker and a really good one at that back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
This guy is fiery. He knows what he's talking about on defense. So their defense is going to be fine. But specifically, I think offensively, you're going to see a lot more firepower from the team. I think you're going to see a lot more shots downfield. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to try to make a statement, especially against the Bills. If you remember last year, Monday Night Football, the first game of the season, the Jets beat the Bills when Aaron Rodgers went down. They beat them in overtime with the punt return touchdown, a walk-off touchdown. So
Right.
I'm going to pick the Jets in this game. I really think that you're going to see a lot more balanced approach on offense. I think they're going to utilize not Brendan Allen, Breece Hall a lot more
Yep.
because he is their best weapon. And then you have Garrett Wilson, and then you have Aaron Rodgers and Mike Williams. Like you still have a great offensive pieces. You just have
Right.
to utilize them correctly. You have to utilize that system correctly. So now that Hackett is gone, or not gone, but demoted, I think it's going to open up a lot more options and opportunities for these guys.
Right. 100%, man. You got to use your weapons. You got to utilize your best weapons. Those are the guys you got to go to. You know, you look at a guy like Geno Smith even tonight, right? Missing Kenneth Walker on a down the field throw. It's one of those things, again, man, if you just believe in your guys, right? If you just believe in the weapons that you have, you're going to be better off. And that's what's been killing the Jets. Allen is a great backup. He's not Breece Hall. Breece Hall is proven in the NFL.
Right.
He's one of a kind. Let him be your dude. Right, let him go out and be that guy. A couple debuts to keep our eyes on Big Z, Drake May, and more than likely Spencer Rattler making their debuts. Obviously, everybody knows about Drake May taking second overall in the draft. We thought this wasn't the best move because we thought there was other more important things they needed to do, like rebuild their team. And I think it's quite foolish to expect that Drake May is just going to come in here and turn the season around for them. I'm not saying he's not going to be better than Brissett. I think he could be better than Brissett. I think he can win them a couple games. I think it's great to get him that experience. But again, I don't think this solves your franchise problems, right? Like your offensive line still can't block for him. Hopefully the kid doesn't get hurt. There's just a lot of things wrong, but excited to see Drake May, right? Let's see what he is.
I mean, use him. Like you drafted him. Like
use him.
Like put him in, man. Like he's gonna be under fire regardless. Like
if you're gonna go get him,
he's always under fire. Dak Prescott's always like everyone's always under fire. Offensive lines, they get worn down all over the season, man. Like you're gonna have to freaking figure it out. And if he's that good, you invested that high of a pick in him, you gotta see what he's made of. You gotta see it with his, against his butt against the wall. Like you gotta see this guy freaking perform. And so I'm looking forward to it. This is finally the Patriots going for it, right?
Right.
Like they're not doing it the Patriot way. They benched Jacoby Brissett. He was super confused. I'm like, why are you confused? You only have one win. You're 1-4. Like I don't understand like why you're
you're everything looks awful.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is
change it up, man. Like and good for them. Props to them. Like I hope he doesn't get hurt, but I hope he does well. I really do. I hope he proves us wrong that they should have taken him. I hope he proves us wrong that he is successful. But I am happy for him.
Look, at the end of the day, could he prove us wrong? Absolutely. Is that on the table? 100%. And are we rooting for that? Yeah, dude. We hope everybody does well. Sincerely, we hope everybody does well. Again, I just think this is no longer the NFL where people have years and years and years to sit. When you take quarterback number 2 overall, that means he's going to start at some point this year.
Yep.
So Patriots, regardless of what you think about your team right now, you decided to go get him. It's time to use him. And on the other side, Spencer Rattler, I'm just going to come right out and say it. I think this is great for Olave. Spencer Rattler's already had his first press conference. He's like, I'm getting the ball to my best player.
Yep.
My best player is Olave.
He's smart.
So, smart like that's a good, hey, again, dude, this already shows a maturity in sink or swim with the ship, right? Like this is my best player. I'm going to get it to my best player. And if we lose while I'm getting it to my best player, then we lose, right? I'm going to force feed Kamara. I'm going to force feed Olave and we're going to go from there.
100%.
Everybody else is like a maybe.
Yep.
Right. And we've already seen people have been slowing down the Saints because Carr is still trying to hit Shaheed. It's like, buddy, people are not just going to let you keep throwing the ball deep. They're going to start running cover shell 2, which is exactly what they've been doing to you. And this is why you've been losing. So let's see. Maybe Spencer Rattler, brings something a little bit different to the table. Excited to see him. I mean, let's not forget, this is a kid that a couple years ago, he was expected to be considered for a lottery pick. Right, he was expected to be a possibly top 10 pick, and then Caleb Williams obviously goes and takes the job from him at Oklahoma. And so here we are. It's discovery time. Let's see what he's got, find out what he is, and it could be good. It could be really good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. For sure.
Heck yeah, dude. We are about 5 games in. We are 5 games in the season. We are 5 games into the season for most teams, Big Z. So the question has to be asked as we start doing this. We're probably going to keep doing it. But give me one, maybe 2, but at least one of your biggest surprises, Big Z, in fantasy football so far. I mean, because obviously if you redrafted today, I was listening to a great podcast with fantasy football. It's one of my favorite. They do like a redraft, right? So like if they drafted
Oh
today,
yeah.
now knowing what we know, what would look different? And it's amazing how many things look different, Big Z. So what's the one name that's popping out to you right now? And again, we'll probably do this next week. So if you have a couple, that's fine. Save it, write it down. But what's the one name jumping out to you, Big Z?
I think that I know that we knew that he was going to be good, but Nico Collins, I know he's on the
Yeah,
IR,
yeah,
but the fact that he's so dominant and leading the league in receiving yards is just surprising to me, and is a testament to how much of a hard worker he is.
yep.
But the dude is a freaking beast, man. Like he's unguardable. Like no one can guard him. Like I think I legitimately think he's a top 3 receiver in this league. And
I,
so, I
how
mean,
could you argue
people,
it?
I don't know where he went in our draft, but he wasn't that high. There's no like
No,
you had Amon Ra, you had all these Jefferson, all these guys in front of him.
Garrett
You know,
Wilson,
yeah, Garrett Wilson, and so
Nakua.
Puka Nacua, and so Cooper Cup even.
But there's an argument to be made right now. Would you take okay, injury aside, let's pretend he's not injured right now. Would you take CD Lamb over Nico from what we've seen so far?
No,
No.
no,
I like CD. I love CD. That is not a shot at CD. I want to be clear. That is not a shot. I love CD. I'm taking Nico. He looks unstoppable.
he
And
is.
the problem coming into the season was that it was going to be a crowded room, right? That's what you and I sat here on the podcast and said. It's going
Yeah,
to be a crowded room. You got Stephon Diggs, you got Tank Dell. Those guys aren't going away. Turns out Tank Dell went away, right? He's got an
yeah,
injury. We don't know how bad the ankle thing was. Maybe he's 100%, maybe he's not. But again, Nico also just is quite clearly demanding it. I mean,
yep,
his ability to make insane catches, dragging the toes. Stroud knows he can trust this guy. You put it in his vicinity, he's going to do it. And it's
yep.
very rare to see. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. Man, 100% huge surprise. Got it wrong. Not that we weren't high on him. We were high on him. We always liked
We were
ourselves,
high on it, but not that
but
high.
it's just clear that he'd be first,
Yeah,
second, or third. If you redraft today, he's a top 3 wide receiver
yep,
without question, coming
100%.
off the board.
Yep.
My big surprise, obviously, again, and you know what? To my credit, I actually got him in Brevity. So shout out to me.
Shout out
Pat
to
on my
you.
back. Pat on my back. Saquon Barkley, man. We talked about it before the season started. We said, man, like this could be really cool. Like this is easily going to be his best offensive line, but we also
Yep.
had worries, right? AJ
Right.
Brown, Devontae Smith, Goder, like dude, and of course Hurts stealing carries, right? Oh, they're just going to do the tush push or whatever it is. Not the tush, sorry, the brotherly shove. Brotherly shove. They're just going to do the brotherly shove, and so
Which he
he's going to,
has. He
which he
has.
has, yeah, he has, but it doesn't matter. Saquon he's just been absolutely electric. He's already had his bye, and he's still the third ranked in our league right now, the third ranked running back in points scored, just behind Henry and Kamara. So, I mean, to me, first week, that's my big surprise. Saquon Barkley, if you drafted today, again, if you drafted today, he's up there.
Oh
He's
yeah.
up there as
Top
one of the
3
main picks,
easily.
top 3 picks, hands down. And what's crazy is he's really, if you actually watch him play, he's taking less damage than he ever has. Like he is
Oh yeah.
having more runs where he gets out of bounds, where he doesn't get hit hard, because again, he has a real offensive line. It's no longer like how many times do we see on the Giants where he'd get the ball and then just like just like
Right.
there's a cloud of dust,
Yeah.
right? Like that's not happening to him. He's getting some run, he's getting some movement. I love to see it. Wrapping up Big Z with some MLB.
Yes,
There is
sir.
no blowout tonight, sir. Last year, I think you wrecked me pretty good with the playoffs, but this year I'm hanging tough. I'm hanging tight. Yankees and Royals. You took the Royals. I took the Yankees. I was right. The Yankees got it done. Garrett Cole looks fantastic on the bump
You did.
tonight, but the Yankees have some concerns there. Aaron Judge has not looked very Aaron Judge esque
No.
up to this point, and if they are going to progress, I think they need more from him, Big Z.
Yeah, you do. I mean, he's your star. Like he is the guy. You have him and Juan Soto like on offense, right?
Right,
And so, and especially in a 7-game series, like he's gonna have those moments. They're gonna come up. Like he's gonna come up to bat with guys on base. Like he's gonna
right,
have to eventually come through.
yeah,
And if he doesn't, the Tigers or the Guardians have good enough pitching staffs to beat the rest of the guys in that lineup. Because Juan Soto, we know, they cannot do it by himself. He
Right.
needs a guy like Aaron Judge behind him, right? And
Right.
so if Aaron Judge isn't doing it, the Yankees aren't moving on. Great point.
Yeah. No, 100%. And then the series you got right. You nailed it. I rode with the Phillies. You rode with the Mets. The Mets get it done. They're moving on. They're awaiting the winner of the Dodgers
What a
and the Padres.
what a turnaround, bro. Like we were hating on them, like the highest payroll in baseball. They were 11 games under 500 in June, second worst record in the National League.
Yeah.
And now look at him, like Francisco
Yeah.
Lindor, dude. He's had such a bad time with the Mets up until halfway through the season, and now
Yeah.
he's looking like the $325 million player that he
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yep.
And that grand slam last night just really capped it, right? And
That
like
was
they're down
huge.
1-0, one out in the bottom of the sixth, and they weren't scared of him. They threw one right down the middle to him. Like they weren't even try to strike him out. They're just, all right, fine, like we'll challenge you. And he was like, all right. And he hit that thing to the deepest part of the ballpark. And it's pretty cool when you see the Mets and the Yankees making it to the LCS. I'm
Yeah.
scared if the Dodgers make it, as a Dodger fan, I'm scared to play the Mets. Like that's a team on fire right now.
They look good. I think Frankie is playing his best ball that he's played in a long time. You got to give
Yeah.
that kid his flowers. He looks fantastic. Yeah, 100%, man. I got nothing to say. I think the Phillies, I think moving forward, second year in a row, you've been eliminated far earlier than you wanted to. The question has to start being asked, Castellanos and Harper, are they enough? Those are the two pieces. We'll see. Maybe coaching changes. I don't know. I don't know what's coming for them. But again, they're falling short. This is a team that is expected to compete for the World Series. I will say also, look, okay, the Mets, what a run. Yes. Is it great? Yes. They're the highest payroll in baseball. This isn't like a Cinderella, like, oh my God. Like they are the highest payroll in baseball. This is what they should be doing, and they're doing it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying like don't act surprised. Like I read an article the other day. The Cinderella story continues for the Mets. Dude, they're the highest payroll in baseball, right? They're doing what they should be doing. They're playing how they should be playing. They're a legitimate threat. They're legitimately good. And if the Dodgers play them, heck yeah, I'm be a little bit worried.
Yeah.
Tigers and the Guardians headed back to Cleveland,
Ooh,
man. And the story for me here is Stephen Kwan. That
yeah.
dude is balling. Three
Yeah,
for
he
five
is.
today, few hits yesterday, making insane game changing, game saving catches. I mean, Tigers Guardians. I'm not sure who takes this one, but you said the Guardians. I said the Tigers. So I got to roll with the Tigers. I was hoping they'd get it done tonight, but
Yeah.
it was just too much. And again, small ball wins championships, man. You
It
saw it
does.
tonight in the last inning, right? I'm sorry, the eighth inning. What are the no, it wasn't the ninth because they're in Detroit right now. What do the Guardians do? Squeeze play, man. Get that bunt down. Let's get that insurance run across the plate. For those who don't know what a squeeze play is, basically, you got a runner at third. He's going to cheat as far down as he can down the line. He knows that the guy at the plate is going to bunt. So your coach is telling the guy who's going to bunt, hey, you got to get a piece of this. I don't care if you foul it. I don't care what you do. You got to get a piece of this because he's coming. So you got to get a piece. You got to put it on the ground. And this guy's going to take off. He's not
Yep.
going to wait to see where it goes. And hopefully you're fast enough. And it works. And of course, the Tigers, they go back, they go on to score actually one run in the ninth. So it ended up being the difference in the game.
Yep.
Huge win for the Guardians, Big Z.
Huge. And now I want to see, because the Guardians are undecided in game 5 who they're going to pitch. And the Tigers have Scooball going. And dude, that guy is a freaking beast of nature on the pitching mound. He's
Yeah,
so
he is.
good. And so it's going to be tough for the Guardians, regardless of who comes out on the mound for them. But it's sick that we have 2 game 5s this year.
Yes, sir.
Just because like that is baseball. Like that's what makes baseball great. And this is again why these playoffs are so good. There's not, it's a lot more evened out than it has been in years past. So it's awesome.
Yep.
And
And then, of
against 2
course,
division rivals, each one. Each
yep.
series is 2 division rivals.
Oh,
Yep.
100%, man. And then you
Yeah.
got Dodgers, Padres headed to game 5 after the Padres take the third game of the series in pretty convincing fashion. Look, it was a big win last night for the Dodgers. They were pressed. They didn't have a starting pitcher, but they needed to win to extend the series, and they win 8-0. So,
Wow. The bullpen, man. The bullpen came through for sure.
I mean, and hey, we hate him when he's bad. Gotta praise him when he's good. Shout out to Dave Roberts. We didn't necessarily agree with every move, but when there's
Nope.
no runs, when there's 0 runs allowed,
Yeah.
hey,
You can't.
Can't
Yeah.
say anything. He did it. So Dodgers on to game 5. Padres, I believe they're expected to start Yu Darvish,
It's Yu Darvish versus Yamamoto. Yep.
which is interesting to me because Yu Darvish is not good on short rest. We know that historically. This is going to be a little bit interesting for the Padres. I think they honestly, they were kind of going all in last night.
Yeah.
Going their ace on short rest. I think they really wanted to get that game done for obvious reason in Petco.
Yeah.
Darvish, we know as Dodger fans from a few years ago, Darvish on 3 or 4 days rest was not good for us.
Right.
Not good.
Well, I mean,
The entire run.
the Astros did also know what was coming. So,
Oh, 100%. That, and
so
it's not even that
that didn't help.
series. No,
That didn't
it,
help.
it did.
Yeah.
It did not help. It did
But
not
yeah,
help.
but regardless, most of the time I'd like to see a stat on that, but most of the time when a pitcher's going on short rest, it doesn't really turn out super well for them.
No, 100%. 100%. But hey, Dodgers, Padres, and it is Yamamoto.
It is Yamamoto,
How are
which
you feeling about that? How you feeling about that?
I'm a little weary about that because the Padres have hit them very well every single time they've played them this year.
Right.
But we went out and got him for $310 million or whatever it is. Like, this is the guy. You have to put him in the spot. This is what we paid him to do. We didn't pay him to win in the regular season. We paid him to win the playoffs. So you got to figure it out, bro. You have to figure it out. And then you have Jack Flaherty lined up right after him. Whatever time the game it is, you have Jack Flaherty lined up.
Yeah, I think you tell Jack, like, run through your stuff.
Yep.
Like, pretend like you're on the bump today. Yeah. I mean, so just so you know, and this is on the Friars website, actually. So this is actually the Padres website. The title was Trust in Darvish on short rest misplaced are given his history. So the 38-year-old has been on the bump 4 times during an elimination game. 2 of those winner take all. Unfortunately, Darvish's team lost all 4 games.
Oh wow.
So that is
There you go. There's the stat.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But we know Darvish is good and he's dominated the Dodgers.
I mean,
but
he was great on Sunday. He was great in game 2. 100%.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded Jack Flaherty here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But hey, you know
but
what?
He would be on short rest technically.
Yeah.
And Yamamoto's on full rest. So
and Dave, he just got a pitcher through shutout. So if worst comes to worst, you tell Brazier.
Yamamoto could be on normal rest.
Hey, dude, if worst comes to worst, you just tell your pitchers, hey boys, we're running it back. Brazier, be ready. All right. We're going same order, same game plan. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Big Z, this has been fun. Say bye to the people.
People, enjoy the playoff baseball and enjoy the 2 game 5s this weekend and then the game 1s on Sunday. It's been fun though. We love you guys. Thanks for commenting on our stuff on YouTube, on Instagram, all that stuff. We appreciate the interactions. We'll keep doing it, keep posting, but have a good weekend.
Thank you so much for liking all of our stuff, commenting, give us a follow, give us a subscribe, give us all of it, man. We're here for you. We love you. Thank you again for listening and have a great day, great night, wherever